Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's energy, goddess energy forecast. This is your girl, Abigail Mensah-Bonsu, divine embodiment coach, divine feminine activator, and multidimensional healer. So let's go ahead and begin. Well, first we're going to begin with just a overall outlook of what the energy is like this week, and then I'm gonna jump into the messages, so so that you can receive your own specific message that will guide you this week, and then we're gonna end with a beautiful meditation to just kind of smooth things out, to get you aligned and um, to just help you through this week. So let's begin with the energy of this week. Man, first thing I want to talk about is the retrogrades that are going, especially the Venus retrograde in Gemini. I'm going to break this down so you kind of you can see how this is affecting this week's energy, because we just went into retrograde probably, let's see, today's the 17th, so about 3 to 4 days ago with Venus. Venus is the planet of beauty, of abundance, of relationships, of love. And it being in Gemini, retrograding in Gemini. Gemini is what the sign of communication, of being able to see both sides and weigh things out. So Venus going into retrograde in Gemini is really highlighting our words, is bringing our attention to how our words, whether our words are creating beauty and abundance and good relationships, or is it creating something else? What we say creates. We know this. Our words have the power to create. They create our reality. So Venus being in retrograde is really highlighting how, whether our words are creating this harmony in our relationships, whether they're creating this harmony when it comes to our finances, as well as our physical well-being, because the beauty also has to, Venus also brings the beauty in our bodies too. The other thing about Venus is that it being bringing in the energy of beauty, it tends to show you where the ugliness is in your life, so that you can bring in more beauty in those areas of your life. So and I'm kind of seeing all of this energy flowing into this week's energy. So we're still continuing to release that which we don't need. We're still releasing the things that are no longer us. The more we get to know ourselves, the more we receive the light, the more we awaken to our truth, the more we can see what is not us, the more we can see the things that need to go, and the more we can release, so that we can make space for the things that are really us to come in, right? The relationships, the jobs, the like whatever it is that needs to come in to support you. But first, you need to let go of what is not you to make space for that. So Venus coming in with his magic is just another way of us seeing the areas that are in disharmony, so that we can bring more balance into that area. With this retrograde, and the key I wanted to share is surrendering into adaptability. I think adaptability is such a strong, it's such a powerful, I don't know what word I'm trying to use, but I think it's such an important trait for each person to have. Now, we have some signs, like the zodiac signs that are naturally in this sense, right? Virgo is one of them, very adaptable. I'm a Virgo. And, especially now that we're going through this time of changes, being adaptable comes in handy, because you can go with the flow. Wherever that energy flow wants to go, you're able to flow with it and change when you need to change and keep going, right? If you are assigned as change is very hard for you, or adapting to change is hard for you, Venus will definitely help you in that area. And hopefully the goddesses that are coming in this week and the messages that are coming this week will help you through that. The other retrogrades that are happening now, we have Jupiter in retrograde in, Capricorn. Jupiter being the planet of expansion. Um, I love this planet because it brings in a lot of good, it's like expansion, motivation, and enthusiasm when it comes to our personal growth. Usually in retrograde, when we think about retrograde, we think that the planet is reversing. It means that we're going to be experiencing the opposite of what the planet is bringing to us. But with Jupiter, we get to actually still continue to experience the blessings of that planet and also get to do the work, like the finding your inner compass, finding your path, surrendering to new ways of thinking, doing things that expands your consciousness. We're not just, the expansion is not just happening in our, money and, like not just that area, but it's also this time it's about consciousness, right? It's very important for you to do the things, to read the things, to watch the things that allows you to expand your consciousness. So another planet that is in retrograde, let's see here, Saturn is also in retrograde in Capricorn, as well as Pluto. So we have Venus in retrograde, and the Venus retrograde goes from May 13th to June 25th. Jupiter retrograde in Capricorn goes from May 14th to September 13th. Now, Pluto has been in retrograde since April 24th, and it goes all the way to the 4th, October 4th. Also retrograde in Capricorn. And Saturn is in retrograde from May 11th to September 29th, also in Capricorn. So one thing I also wanted to talk about Pluto. Saturn and Pluto, I feel like they're the ones really bringing in the lessons, right? Especially Saturn will be challenging us. So, it's been in retrograde since May 11th, and a lot of people have been feeling really challenged lately, right? Since then, I mean, you can even before then, but now it's like the intensity is really there. Pluto is pulling us to those dark areas within us so that we can pull in more light into these areas, so that we can bring in more enlightenment to these areas. Pluto is a very transformative planet. I really love its energy. It's kind of cool, kind of, hiding, but not really hiding. It's just kind of taking you deep into, it reminds me of like deeper conversations, really connecting to the deeper part of you. There's no, connect like the surfacey stuff, the fake stuff, the mask, all of that begins to crumble when Pluto steps in, right? This really tapping into the deep part of us, having deep conversations that nourishes us, being able to connect with others, deeply. So, when it dances with Venus, connecting with others deeply, really allowing our relationships to go from just a surfacey to, a deeper, to create a deeper relationship that actually supports us and serves us and fills us up and ignites us, right? So all these retrogrades happen around, at a time where there's such transformation and awakening going on. There's no coincidence that we're going through all of this, right? And so let's go ahead. That's just a little bit of this week. Not a little bit, that was actually a lot, but that's the energy we're dancing with this week. It's transformative. It's pulling us inside so that we can really tap into the deeper aspect of things, right? And it's also bringing our awareness to our words and what we're creating with our words. Are we creating what we really want? Or are we creating something else? Right? Also bringing light to where within us and in our life that the ugliness is showing, and how you can transform the ugliness into beauty. At the same time, it's like, how can you nourish the beauty that is around you and is also within you, right? And I love that most of the planets in retrograde are in Capricorn, so it's really pulling all of this is experience into the earth, the physical realm. We're not just, detaching. This year is all about connecting those two, right? Connecting the physical and the spiritual. We're no longer disconnecting from our physicality just so that we can go fly around in the cosmos. There's no benefit in doing that unless you know how to pull that experience into your physical realm and actually express it and experience it here in this reality, right? So I love that Capricorn is like the main planet that most of the planets are retrograded in, with the exception of Venus, right? Venus retrogrades in Gemini. And so Capricorn is really, bringing in that solid foundation, like rooting things down. We're doing the work right now in this physical reality, and we're going to see the experience right now in this physical reality. So that's a little bit about the energy that was swimming in this week. Now let's go ahead and dive into the messages and the mentors, the divine mentors that you're going to be working with this week. So this week I'm using the Divine Feminine Oracle Oracle cards, and it's by Megan Watterson, and I absolutely love this Oracle deck. It is powerful, it is beautiful, and I'm really excited to share its wisdom with you. So the cards that came in, and if you haven't done this yet, make sure you go ahead and close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart, one hand on the heart, one hand on the womb. Taking a deep breath in, get centered. Make sure that you open yourself up to the light that is pouring in from above. Let it fill every center of your being, every cell within your body, and let it pour out through your feet, anchoring you into Mother Earth, expanding its radiance all around you until you're standing in this beautiful golden bubble of light. Taking a deep breath in and out. And now we call upon our higher selves to come in, and our Holy Spirit selves to come within you now, to come within all of us now. And from this place of alignment with your highest self and your Holy Spirit self and your true north, go ahead and ask the question: which of these mentors and messages are for me this week? Which of these mentors and their messages is for me this week, or supposed to guide me this week, or to realign me this week? Taking a deep breath in. 1, 2, or 3. And once you receive your number or numbers, go ahead and open your eyes. Make sure you're open to receiving the messages that will be coming through. So the first card, and I'm just going to run through the cards real quick, and then I'll go through the messages. So the first card that comes in is Mama Kali Ma. Isn't that amazing? So we're talking about all this, the ugliness and releasing, and then we have Kali Ma stepping in, the mother of the universe, to help us to really release all that does not serve you, right? And she says, I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. Remember when I was saying that when you shed those skins that are not you, when you release that which is not you, you make space for what is really you, and what is your path, your truth to show up. So I'm glad that Mama Kali Ma is coming in to really help us to really cut these cords and, uproot these programmings and beliefs and these structures and these energies that are still continue to run its cycle and pulling us down, pulling us away from our alignment, from our path. I'm really glad that she's coming in to just uproot all of that. And next we have Anandamayima, and she is the joy permeated mother. So after we just this is kind of like what I'm seeing here. This is the image that they're showing me. It's like and it's the perfect time because we're all working on our gardens, right? And so Mama Kalima is coming in, and we're going through the garden and removing all those weeds that are entangling the seeds that we've just planted, or entangling the new seedlings that are trying to grow. So we're literally uprooting all of those, clearing the garden of anything that might kill our seeds and our new plants, and nourishing our garden. So first off, we remove all those weeds, and then, we have Ananda Mayima coming in as the sun. I just see her as like this bright sun coming in, and the nourishing the new seedlings and the new the new plants with the divine sun, so that they can grow stronger and taller. And then next we have Lakshmi, beloved Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance. Now that we've removed the seeds, we've kind of provided the sun and the rain, the water, and the light. The plants are able to grow taller and bigger and produce, bigger yield of abundance, right? And so I kind of see that way in that analogy, looking at the garden, removing the weeds, nourishing the new seedlings, allowing it to grow, and then seeing, all the fruits of your labor, all the fruits and the vegetables that you get to harvest, right, through your work. This is kind of the energy that we're working with here. You got to do the work so that you can also enjoy the fruits of your labor. And I love that they given me the analogy of the garden, because it makes it physical. Remember, we're working in the physical realm, right? We're not doing something and not seeing the results. We get to see the results actually immediately if we want to, right? When you do the work, you will see the results immediately, physically. In your reality, you will see things begin to shift and transform, right? You will begin to see more of the things that you want in your life, more of the experiences that you want in your life. So let's go ahead and do the messages. So make sure that you're still in that open, energetic state where you're receiving these beautiful wisdom and guidance from these mentors for this week. So we begin with Kali Ma, the mother of the universe. So if you were drawn to card number 1, this is your card for the week, and your mentor for this week is Kali Ma. So for you this week, you're really focusing on removing those weeds from the garden. Okay, so here's the message. Kali is as subtle as a sledgehammer. She shows up to strip us of what no longer serves us. And that sounds good in theory, but in practice, it can feel as if the ground beneath us has turned to sand. All those illusions about ourselves, especially what we think we're capable of, suddenly dissolve beneath us. When Kali sweeps in, we can easily slip into feeling like a victim. It can feel as though events are happening to us rather than for us. Kali doesn't want us to waste another precious second being someone we are not. This is so important for you this week. She doesn't want us to be with a partner who doesn't treat us with the respect and love we need to do the light work we've come here to do. Kali wants to sever the ties our ego has made out of fear, or out of a false belief that we don't deserve better or more. She wants us to get terrifyingly real. Oof. She wants us to reckon with the fact that we are not here to please others or make them proud. Ooh, I'm going to read this again. This is good. She wants us to reckon with the fact that we are not here to please others or to make them proud. We are here to listen to the singular call of our own soul. Kali is the harbinger of having entered Kairos, or soul time, and stripping the ego to reveal the soul can feel raw and often heartbreaking, but ultimately, Kali has come out of fierce love for the truth of who we really are. She has given us the opportunity to choose again, to start over, and this time from a place of tremendous wisdom and strength, our vulnerability. She lets us begin again from the bare bones truth of who we are. I love this. So I think it's very interesting because that's the energy that we're already in, and Kali Ma is really coming in to make sure that it's really going on for you. The last bits of it that is left to really strip everything down so that you can get to the core of who you really are. Now, if this is your card, do not be afraid. This is part of the transformation. You are strong enough to go through this transformation. You call this transformation in so that you can experience something better for you, so you can create a better life, so that you can call in, the experiences that you really want to experience. So know that Kali Ma is with you, is mentoring you, is guiding you, rather than doing this to you. Okay, so step into an empowered state rather than the victim state of woe is me, this is happening to me. Step into this is happening so that I can really create that which I'm here to create, and to be who I am here to be, and to serve from a place of wholeness. So let's go to the next one. If you were drawn to card number 2, your mentor for this week is Ananda Maima, and she is the joy permeated mother. And so for this week, your focus is actually bringing the sunlight and the rain for your seedlings and your new intentions, right? So here's her message for you. There's a passage in the autobiography of a yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, that relates an encounter he had with Ananda Maima. He asks her why she is always so filled with joy and can enter states of bliss instantly. That kind of reminds me of me. That's one of my gifts. She explains to him that she's aware of her true self. She knows that before she came to earth, she was the same. As a little girl, and later when she grew up into womanhood, still she was the same. And now sitting in front of Yogananda, she remains the same. Even after death, she says, though the dance of creation changes around me, I shall be the same. This is self-realization, merging with that aspect within us that never changes. Is becoming conscious of the self that is eternal while within this brief mortal existence. Ananda Maima believed that the only true calling or purpose any of us have is to become realized. And so she believed that any action we take toward that goal is sacred. There's a deep, calm, abiding joy that arrives when we can merge with the aspect of us that never changes. There is a bliss we get to experience every time we detach from the surface storms that cause chaos in our lives. Ooh, I love this. I'm going to read this again. There is a bliss we get to experience every time we detach from the surface storms that cause chaos in our lives. If we can remember that we are the guru, that we are an aspect of the divine that remains the same no matter how much change surrounds us, then we can get to arrive at a joy that lives at the core of our being. So while I was reading this, so for you, if you're drawn to card number 2, you are the sun. It's tapping into that eternal cosmic sun within you, and that it's eternal rays radiating through you. Ooh, I love this. So if you're drawn to card number 2, that was your card. That was your message. So again, your mentor is Ananda Mayima, the joy-permeated mother. Um, and it's about really finding your eternal self, that eternal cosmic sun within you. Because regardless of what changes on the surface, you are always going to be the same if you embody that part of you. So the next card, if you were drawn to card number 3, your mentor for this week is the beautiful Lakshmi, the goddess of abundance. And this is her message to you. Abundance looks different to each of us. Some people have incalculable material wealth, but are bereft of a sense of purpose or a greater vision for their life, and so are left feeling lost, while others are considered poor in financial wealth, but walk around radiating love and the kind of light that has an um, inestimable worth. Lakshmi is the auspiciousness that begins to bloom in our life when we align our every action with the work our soul has come here to do. Lakshmi reminds us of the ultimate goal, which is not making money, but being able to know our true bliss. It's kind of tying us back to the second card message, right? What makes us feel lit like a glow stick while we're doing it? What work doesn't feel like work at all? Lakshmi is a wink to find that vocation, that bliss, so that what is within us comes into full bloom through something we can do and show the world. Lakshmi represents both the gold we can hold in our hands and the gold we can become by doing work that feeds our soul. She's the reminder that true abundance doesn't come from our bank statements. It comes from a state of mind we enter when we know we are contributing great worth to the world and the effort of becoming more love. I feel like this card just kind of ties everything together, right? The first card is about really shedding, removing all those stuff so that we can get to the true, like the core of who we are. The second card is about embodying that eternal core that we just reached in, right? And really, really operating from that core, even though everything is changing around you. And then the third card, the second card is the one I was talking about. The third card is really tying everything together, right? So that you can start operating from that source and find what you truly want to do that brings you bliss, right? I feel like bliss is the reward that you get from operating from that centered place, that eternal being that is within you, your core, right? I love this. All right. So these are your cards for this week. Now let's go ahead and step into the meditation for this week. So make sure you find a comfortable space. You will not be disturbed. Close your eyes. Begin taking some deep breaths in and breathe out. So imagine, see, sense, or feel that beautiful light. You're centered between heaven and earth. You're surrounded by that radiating golden ball of light, right? Now imagine that there's a thin beaming rim of light that frames you like a full body halo. Imagine it's an energetic golden egg that holds you and protects you by only allowing in what will serve you and by releasing everything within you that no longer does. Now imagine that same light is cascading down from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. reminding you of the clarity you always have access to, and of the safe and wide open spaces within you that you can always claim. Now, taking a deep breath in, and as you inhale, imagine descending into your heart. The heart is not a heart as in the physical organ. The heart is the mediator between the worlds. The heart is where we can meet with what is so much more than us. We can connect instantly to those who have passed, to angels, to our spirit teachers, our higher selves who want to bless us with their love and wisdom. The heart is the seat of the soul. We can enter the heart and remember the love we are and the power we hold. Now, taking another deep breath in, and as you inhale, know that you are now merging with your soul from within your heart. You are entering the holiest place on earth to merge with the essence of who you are, the soul. Know that there are many ways to hear the soul: through vision, through voice, through pure emotions, depending on your clair or your spiritual superpower. Pay attention to how you feel as you begin to ask the questions, with these questions from your spiritual mentors. Now allow the questions to lead you to other questions. Be curious. Curiosity is a form of compassion. The soul always leaves you feeling expansive, even if you hear something that scares you. If you feel constricted, kiss your ego goodbye. The ego lives in a linear time. It's so useful for grocery shopping and making sure your kid gets picked up after school. But the ego doesn't serve us if it's loudly demanding we follow fear rather than love. So gently, lovingly, just let the soul announce itself. And here are the questions. What is fallen away from my life right now that no longer serves me? If you're drawn to card number 1, focus on this question and receive. What is fallen away from my life right now that no longer serves me? If you were drawn to card number 2, focus on this question. What does joy feel like in my body? What does joy feel like in my body? What does joy feel like in my body? If you were drawn to card number 3, focus on this question. When do I feel the most abundant? When do I feel the most abundant? When do I feel the most abundance? Taking a deep breath in and out. As you contemplate on these questions, open yourself up to receive the answers. Keep breathing. Now taking a third deep breath. And as you inhale, give gratitude for the answers you have heard or felt or witnessed. Give gratitude even if all you got was a few moments of absolute stillness. The answers will come. They always do. They just might arrive in unexpected ways, like, hearing a song on the radio that has the answer that you need, or, seeing a message on a billboard while you're driving. What we bring to the heart arrives. What we ask from the heart gets answered. What we seek inwardly, we find. And when you surface from behind your eyes, know that you are now seeing out with the eyes of the soul. You are now moving the way love would have you move. And you are seeing with the heart, which perceives the unseen just as clearly as the light of day. If you're drawn to card number 1, here's a mantra you can use this week. I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. Now, if you are drawn to card number 2, here's your mantra for the week. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. I am my own guru. I know the self that never changes. And if you are drawn to card number 3, here's your mantra for the week. I choose to feel abundant. Wealth is an inside job. I choose to be abundant. Wealth is an inside job. I choose to be abundant. Wealth is an inside job. Taking a deep breath in here and out. With your next inhalation, go ahead and pull in all the messages that you received. And with your exhale, send it all the way down through the bottoms of your feet into the earth to ground the wisdom into your physical reality. Go ahead and thank your spiritual mentors for showing up for you and for choosing to guide you through this week so that you may receive the blessings with ease and grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it and so it is. When you're ready, open your eyes and be here now. Thank you so much for receiving this week's energy, Goddess Energy Forecast. Thank you for receiving the messages. Let me know how it resonated with you. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, so much blessings to you and have a wonderful week.